Oh, I'm ready.
We're ready for coach for you guys.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, man, how's it going?
It's going well. Let me ask you something I asked Fred Warner yesterday, which is how has Trey been looking in practices as far as giving your defense a good taste of the upcoming opponent, and whether that's improved, gotten better over, I don't know, the last month or so?
Yes, I think Trey has he's done an outstanding job over the past month or so. You can definitely see the improvement. Yeah, he's done a really good job of being more aggressive, taking shots on us, and really threading the ball in there in some really tight coverage. So he's done a really good job as far as challenging us, making it definitely harder for our guys to defend. So I was definitely encouraged by what he's done. Over the past month or so, it looks really well. So I'm pleased with Trey.
DeMeco, what do you think about the rookie quarterback that you're going to be facing, and what other challenges do the Texans offense offer you?
Yeah, I think the first thing with that offense is they're going to lean on the run game. And I think that's how, you help the rookie quarterback is definitely leaning on the run game. So they've done a good job, definitely the past week, where they've ran the ball very, consistent, over 100 yards rushing last week. So first thing first, we have to, stop the run game. And they've helped the quarterback by running it and also not, putting too much on his shoulders. You can tell it's been more screens, more boots, quick passes, and he does a really good job. He goes through his progression really well for a young guy, and he can find an open spot in zone coverage. So he's done a good job over the past couple weeks, and you can see how they've been effective over the past couple weeks and able to win some games, based on the run game and his play.
DeMeco, I think we ask you this every week, but I just curious what your evaluation of how Ambry Thomas played against the Titans, and how are you seeing him grow from week to week right now?
Yeah, Ambry he's getting those quality reps what young guys need. Young guys you have to get thrown in the fire and you learn on the job. It's one thing just practice all the time, but you have to get out there against live competition. And Ambry has been matched up with some of the top receivers in the NFL, and he's gotten better and better each week. I see the confidence building in him. He was able to make some plays against some of the top guys, and his confidence is still building. He's still learning. He's still growing. But I think he's progressing in the right direction.
You say that Davis Mills goes through his progressions well. Is that surprising or rare for a rookie to process quickly in his first season?
I think it's always difficult for the young guys when they first come in, just seeing the different coverages and things that are presented in the NFL, and to see a guy like Davis, right? You can tell he's a very smart guy. They don't give him a lot, but the things that he has, he's mastered those things, and he does a really good job. And you can see I can see the confidence in him, like from when he first started out the year up until the recent games. You can see his confidence has grown throughout the season.
Hey, DeMeco, Patrick Willis was just named a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't know how much you crossed paths during your career after, but as a lot of people say, you just kind of know a Hall of Famer when you see him. Does he qualify as that in your estimation?
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer that Patrick is a Hall of Famer. I mean, I remember Patrick he's back at Ole Miss, just making every tackle, even when he had the big club on his fist. He was still out there making plays. He's always been a dominant player from college all the way through, his time in the NFL. Like, Patrick is, one of the best linebackers to play the game. You talk about speed, you talk about physicality, you talk about smart. Like, he's everything you want in an inside linebacker, and he set the tone for the defense here. For I think he played 8-9 years that he was here. He was that guy. He was the leader of this defense, and it's just always fun to watch him. And every time, even when I was playing, Coach Johnny Holland would give me. I was struggling that time with some tackles, open field tackling at the time, and he makes a DVD for me, and it's of Patrick Willis, and just studying Patrick and how he tackles. So it's definitely a guy I respect, the utmost respect for Patrick, and I can't say enough things about him. He's a great man just off the field, but he's always been a tremendous teammate and one of the premier linebackers in the league.
Hey, DeMeco, when you went back and watched the Tennessee game, there was a lot of third and longs that the Titans got. Were there a couple of things that were breaking down there that you could put your finger on that were fixable, or was it just a different issue on every play? How did you kind of evaluate that?
Overall, man, we were in position to make play. We had to make plays, and that's what it came down to. I think we were in position. We just didn't make the plays that we should have made. So it was discouraging. Third down to get them. We're in a very advantageous position when we're in those third and long. So that should be a high percentage win for us defensively, and we understand that. Guys are. You just have to make the play. Guys recognize the routes and everything we're doing, playing with proper leverage. So it was a couple of different breakdowns on probably each one. Each one had his own set of issues, but I just think guys just playing smarter, playing with the proper leverage, and making a play when it's your time to make a play. You got to go make that play.
And following up on that, they did a lot of max protect it. Nick Bosa was talking about the challenges of that. How much does that affect what you can do in terms of pass rush? And are there ways that if teams do that moving forward that you can counter that?
Yeah, that's what we've been getting. The entire year. People are gonna max protect to slow Bosa down, and Bosa has been an effective rusher for us, and he's garnered that attention because of how productive he's been. So we have to I have to do a better job of putting him in position to be successful.
You guys good?
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
For you, fire away.
Oh, I don't see anybody.
Oh, you'll see him.
Yeah? Yeah, this is a shame this is happening on Zoom. Over Christmas, I grew 6 inches. You guys can't even see it.
So did I.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Santa likes us.
Easy.
What's going on?
Question for you. We've been hearing from your defensive players and DeMeco Ryans about how good Trey Lance has looked in practices running the scout team. Question is, for you, how does that apply to what you guys do, considering he's running different offenses? What can you kind of take away from that, and how does he build by running the opponent's offense?
Well, that's again, that goes back to the preparation by him and his position coaches. Rich Scangarillo and Bobby Slowick, making sure that you're prepared going into practice. You review the cards that you're running so that every single time there's overlap, because there's not a ton of secret plays in the NFL. There's a lot of overlap between what people are running, and so when there is overlap, then you apply it in your verbiage and language and use your timing, and so it's incredibly valuable. There's always little details that they'll have to adjust, but every single time you're taking a scout team rep, you're in the huddle, you're using any sort of verbiage that applies to our offense, you're telling people where to go, you're using cadence, and then distributing the ball against zone or man defenses. So all of that is incredibly applicable to what players have to do, quarterbacks specifically, on a down and down basis, whether you're scout team or running practice with the first team.
Hey, Mike, we've heard a couple players just talk about how Trey's become a little bit more aggressive in the pocket as a passer rather than run. But how has he changed, or how have you helped him just tighten up his mechanics, his throwing motion? What has changed with Trey behind the scenes in terms of that improvement?
Well, it's just deliberate practice. You're going each and every day. Trey's a very, very smart dude. And so he takes coaching very well, and so you want to be specific, because he'll hear everything you say and will try to apply it. So it's just deliberate practice day in, day out. We have direct coaching points that we've over time kind of established as our core fundamental principles. And so it's just really day in, day out saying, okay, we want you to play with the base better, improve that. And so he diligently does it and applies it every time possible. And then, it's a matter of time with every player, every single player. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Trent Williams or a rookie, you're going to have lapses in technique. And that's our job as coaches, is to always be aware of it, always be present, and never miss an opportunity to help a young player get better.
How have you seen Trey evolve as a leader from really when he first got there for rookie minicamp to today, as he goes into potentially start on Sunday?
You really see. He's a charismatic, humble young kid that, it's like going to a new school. At first, you see glimmers of someone's personality, but if you have any social awareness, you kind of feel it out and see your place. And now, the NFL season is almost like 2 seasons of college football. So now what's the difference between a freshman in college and a junior? He's just really, I think people really respect his work ethic. That's earned, not given. And you feel that as a player, and then you allow it to all hang out. He's really just another player on the team, and on this team, everyone, there's no room for individuals or eyes. It's all about what's the best for the 49ers, and the way he diligently tries to work at his craft, I think, is very impactful to his teammates. And you've seen, much like we were talking about Brandon Ayuk kind of showing his personality. That's kind of what we've experienced with Trey, and understanding that players want him to lead, and him actually embracing that. And you can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in how he handles his teammates. It's been cool to watch.
Mike, I have 2 questions. One is, what have you seen from Jimmy Garoppolo throwing the ball on the side before practice the last 2 days, whether in person or on video? And then the other is about Kyle Juszczyk, who's up for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. And I'm kind of curious what you've seen sportsmanship-wise from a guy whose main job is to shove people aside.
Yeah, okay, well, your first question, Jimmy is one of the best throwers on the planet. He's very, very gifted in the accuracy and ball placement, and he throws really catchable tight football. That hasn't changed. It's more about how it responds and how it feels, so that you can have strength in that thumb through the course of a entire game. So it's looked great. It's more about how he responds to it and how it feels the next day. That's why it's kind of a day by day basis with him. And so that's been encouraging watching it. And you're kind of just more playing the waiting game, saying, okay, well, Friday, how's it going to wake up and feel? As far as Juice and his sportsmanship, I was kind of giving him a hard time about that today. No, I think it shows people's respect for him and how he goes about his business. But I do. It was surprising because it's not like he gives his opponent an inch, really. So I think it's more about how they respect him doing his job and going about his business and being a high effort player. Because he does get a little salty during games, but I think it just speaks to how professional he is and what a great football player he is, doing things the right way.
Hey, Mike, how closely did you and Rich pay attention to Trey's snap to throw speed against the Cardinals in Week 5? And was that, if you did, was that speed what you would expect from a rookie? Do you think that that's accelerated over time? Where is he on that part of the game?
Well, to be honest, we didn't even watch it. No, that is really all we do is pay attention to. We try to be as detailed as possible as a coaching staff, and it goes across the board from an offensive lineman's alignment to, like you're talking about, speed to throw. I think the main thing is going through, watching him process and playing in the timing of a play. And that's something that every rep at every play that you do run, you get better at. And that's really just him accepting the challenge because we're perfectionists. That's just because that's our job. Our job is to get the best out of players. So all that is an opportunity to say, hey, this was great, but look at this. You were a hitch too late on this. All of that is a huge part of a coach's job, whether it's a quarterback or you're talking about a running back pressing the right hole or taking the right track, or you're talking about a receiver running his depth right. So that all of those things have improved from training camp to what you guys saw in the Arizona game, and then from the Arizona game to now, we've seen improvement the entire time, which can only happen one way, and that's deliberately working at your craft and not ever getting exhausted with the process, because it is an exhausting process, but you learn a lot about guys, and I think all of his teammates have learned that this guy is driven and is far from satisfied with his game, and will continue to grow.
Do the last one with Nick.
Hey, Mike, Kittle in the game against Tennessee, I think he went 3 quarters plus without a target. I understand, obviously, that opens some things up for other guys. For Debo goes on to have a big night, things like that. But is that something that when you look back at it that concerns you, and you kind of make it a point moving forward of like, hey, we got to at least try to get him the ball throughout a game, or how do you kind of view that when a team is doing so much to take one guy away, even if it is opening things up for someone else?
There's a lot of things that factor into that, especially at the tight end position. If teams want to play soft zone and play 2-shell defense, there's the best thing about having multiple players on your offense that can make plays is that you are allowed the liberty to take what the defense is getting you. There's certain times that he's left one-on-one on third down a ton, and teams are playing a lot of man. That's when we get upset, or we look at ourselves critically and say, hey, what are we doing? This guy has a matchup and we're not taking advantage of it. But realistically, if you're going into a game and then, okay, on third down, 2 guys are covering George Kittle. Well, yeah, he can probably still make a play, but you're also adding risk for your whole team. And when you have other playmakers, which we're afforded, you can distribute the ball, and then when he does have opportunities, he can make more of them. So there are situations where we definitely are, in hindsight, we're like, hey, we didn't take advantage of certain situations with players. This particular game, we'd love this past game. We'd love Kittle to have 250 yards receiving every week, but is that the best thing for the team? And I didn't really see him see us as an offensive coaching staff miss opportunities that we wish we had back. Game by game, I know it's fantasy people's nightmares, but that's kind of what we try to do our best to take what the defense gives us and get the ball to where the defense is most vulnerable.
Thank you, Coach.
That was fun, guys.
You're muted and video's off.